With the season winding its way to the end, it's a good time to take a bit of a peek at some of the best players who will be available for the upcoming entry draft in July. Hey everyone, it's Billy from Puck Rivals, and today I'll be covering 8 prospects from the 2021 NHL Draft. I will give a quick scout report for each player before revealing which teams are the best fits for each player. This isn't necessarily the best 8 players, but more 8 players near the top that we wanted to cover for this video. This is one of the most unpredictable drafts in a long time, so it will be interesting to see how it unfolds. Comment which prospect you hope that your team gets, and with that, we'll dive right in. To begin, we'll start with American center Matthew Beniers. The Massachusetts native is a player who has a good 200-foot game and plays with a high motor. Essentially a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-none type of guy. He played at the University of Michigan this season as a freshman and had a very good season, playing at a point-per-game pace. Beniers seems to be a consensus top 5 pick, ranking as high as number 1 for some, but as low as number 5 for others. He could be a complete second-line centerman for the team that drafts him. Out of the bottom 6 teams based off point percentage, we think the best fit for Beniers would be the Blue Jackets, Ducks, and Red Wings, with the Blue Jackets the number 1 fit. Columbus desperately needs help down the middle, and taking arguably the best centerman in the 2021 draft would help fill a big hole within the organization. He may not be ready right away, but this is still a perfect fit for Beniers. Next up is an American defenseman that comes from a family you might be familiar with, Luke Hughes. The youngest of the Hughes brothers, Luke is an excellent skater who can move the puck well, but his defensive game is still a bit raw. He isn't really viewed by scouts as dynamic or creative as his brother Quinn, but then again, not many people are. But the upside is there, and he fits the mold of a modern-day NHL defenseman. Teams that could be a nice fit for Hughes include the Red Wings, Devils, and Blue Jackets. All of these teams could use a blue-chip prospect on the back end, and Hughes would provide that for them. For his best fit, we think New Jersey, as he could join his brother Jack and help bolster the Devils' blue line. Next up, we have Canadian winger Dylan Guenther of the Edmonton Oil Kings. Guenther is a skilled winger who can score goals, but is also capable of making plays. He's also not afraid to go to the dirty areas around the net. He's played very well in the WHL this season, scoring at a goal per game rate and putting up points at a 2 per game rate, although only 12 games. But still, he is probably the best winger in the draft, ranking as high as number 2 on some rankings. Guenther could be a nice top 6, maybe first line, scoring winger for an organization. As for the teams that would be good fits for Guenther, we have the Senators, Ducks, and Blue Jackets. Ultimately, we think the best fit for Guenther is either Ottawa or Anaheim. He would be a great triggerman with skill for both teams who could use a top winger prospect like him. Moving along, we have Canadian forward Kent Johnson, who played for the University of Michigan along with Beniers. Johnson is a very skilled, flashy, offensive-minded forward who can make highlight reel plays. He's listed as a center, but scouts project him as a winger once he makes the jump to the NHL. He had a successful year as a freshman and might have the highest upside of the forwards in this draft class, but comes with a bit more of a risk. Of the basement teams, we think Johnson would fit the best with the Blue Jackets, Ducks, and Senators, same as Guenther. All of these teams could use a skilled point producer on the wing, and that's what Johnson brings. However, we think Columbus is the best fit, as they haven't really had many players with as much skill as Johnson, and they could try him down the middle to make plays to Laine, if he's still even in Columbus. Next is another defenseman, Canadian Brandt Clarke. Since the OHL never got a game in this season, Clarke saw himself take his talents all the way to Slovakia to play in his draft year. He plays a more offensively minded two-way game, has incredible hockey IQ, and he will take his opportunities to join the rush. Some scouts think he could end up being the best defenseman in the draft. Clarke has the upside to play on a top pairing in the NHL, and whoever picks him will be very happy. The best fits for Clarke include the Devils, Blue Jackets, Red Wings, and Senators. In the end though, we think the best fit for Clarke is the Ottawa Senators. He is from Ottawa.
Who is your favorite Ottawa Senator?
Jason Spezza.
And why do you like him so much?
Last year he scored a hat trick on my birthday.
And even though they have some good young defensemen, it'd be hard to pass up a hometown kid as good as Clarke. Now we have the only goalie in this video, the Swede Jesper Wallstedt. As a teenage goalie, Wallstedt played in the top flight SHL in his native Sweden, where he posted some pretty solid numbers. He owned a .908 save percentage and a .223 goals against average. The goaltender stands tall at 6'3" and is technically sound, mixed in with some good athleticism as well. He's the consensus best goalie in this draft and could even see himself selected within the top 10. We think the teams that make a good fit for this highly touted goalie are the Red Wings, Blue Jackets, and Senators. Out of these teams, we believe the Red Wings are the best fit for him. They have pretty stocked cupboards for prospect skaters, and adding Wallstedt would give them a blue chip prospect at every position. Next, we have the third University of Michigan product in Canadian defenseman Owen Power. He is a towering defender who played over 20 minutes a night in all situations for the Wolverines as a freshman. He's a very good skater considering his size, and he is pretty well above average in all areas of the game. Power's skill set and size make his upside very high, and could see himself anchoring a top pairing in the NHL. He is the consensus number 1 pick for this year's draft, but we'll see if his name will actually be called first in July. Like I've said, anything can happen in this draft. Pretty much any team could be a good fit for this kid, as he has all the tools you want in a defenseman. That being said, for the purpose of this video, we believe out of the bottom teams, the best fits for Power are the Sabres, Devils, and Red Wings. Out of those, we think the Devils are the best fit, as someone like Power on their blue line could really help them propel them out of the basement. And now, the last player I'll be covering in today's video is the big Swedish D-man Simon Edvinsson. The defenseman has split time between the Junior League, the Allsvenskan, and the SHL this season, playing at least 10 games in each league. Edvinsson has a large frame at 6'4", is a mobile blue liner who can move the puck, and has similar characteristics to Owen Power. Some rankings have him as high as number 2, and others have him as low as number 9. There's a bit of variance there, but that's just the nature of this unprecedented draft. The best fits for Edvinsson are the same as they were for Power: the Sabres, Devils, and Red Wings. They're not too different of players, so it makes sense that the fit for each would be about the same. We think the best fit for Edvinsson would be the Sabres or the Devils. This draft will be real hard to predict, as some of the players have barely played, or have moved around to leagues where they normally might not be playing. There are a ton of discrepancies in the player rankings as a result of this, so really anyone could go anywhere, depending on what each team is looking for, or what each team has been able to scout. Essentially, no player is a lock to go in any position at this point. It's about as wide open of a draft as you can get. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on these players, and where you think they should be calling home in a couple of months. If you enjoyed this video and love hockey like we do, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more hockey content. This has been Billy from Puck Rivals, and I'll see you next time.